Today, I am here to give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's Formula One Azerbaijan Grand Prix in the streets of Baku. This weekend's race in Baku is going to be a very crucial weekend for both Ferrari and Red Bull because it's about the time of year where the top teams going for the championship will have to decide who's their number one driver and who is their number two driver. And for Ferrari, it's pretty much kind of clear at this point in time that the number one is going to be young Charles Leclerc, and then Carlos Sainz is the number two for this year. Obviously, it can change in 2023. But on Red Bull, you got an interesting debate to have there. Sergio Perez is coming off a win in Monaco, and Verstappen is coming off a P3 result. Verstappen's higher up in the points, but Perez is finishing races and a little bit more consistent. So, Red Bull might have to wait things out here, but if one of them drivers has a big hiccup here this weekend in Baku, like Verstappen did last year, they might just, close the book and make a clear decision here as they head into Canada the following week. So there's a lot to talk about here today, so kick back and relax and enjoy, but let's get started.
Hey, it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here at Kroger, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
This weekend, the Formula One World Championship Series heads out to the streets of Baku in Azerbaijan. And this weekend is a very tight track. And it's going to be a tight race here for a lot of these drivers racing up front for the World Championship. Your Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and young Charles Leclerc. It's a three-horse race for the championship at this point in time. Maybe Carlos Sainz and George Russell and Lewis Hamilton from 75 points behind might find their way back into it, but I highly doubt it. So it's going to be a tight race here, and strategy is going to be all over the place. Do we do a one-stop, a two-stop, or hell, maybe even a three-stop? I don't know. Time will tell there. I'm going to go with the assumption that the most of the teams will stick with a one-stop strategy, but maybe if you have a second car that's really not going for the championship, like Carlos Sainz, maybe do a two-stop and see what happens there. See the ground you make up and maybe catch a car in front of you that might be worth a couple of points. I don't know. I don't expect it to mean the dominant strategy I expect one stop will be. But enough speculation. But winning this Sunday's race out in Baku will be the one car from Red Bull Formula One team, Max Verstappen, your 2021 World Championship driver. He's going to have a good weekend here in Baku like he did last year. The result didn't show from last year. He dominated in a race until he had that puncture with just a couple of laps remaining in the race. A heartbreaker, but Perez went on to win the race. And I'm not going to lie to you. As a Verstappen, hater, I don't like Verstappen really. You did feel bad for him. Regardless if you're a Hamilton fan, a Mercedes fan, or Ferrari fan, no matter who you are, you felt bad for Verstappen last year at the Baku. He dominated and just ran over something small on the track, a little bit of debris, caused a puncture. Ended his day, very bad wreck. God, he was all right. He deserved that win. And this time around, I think he will get revenge and will win out in Baku. This might not mean nothing, but there has been no repeat winners in Baku ever since they started racing here a couple of years back. So Perez, if he thought he had a chance of winning, the stats say he will not win at all. But second place for Perez will be the most likely way things will go for him. I think he will have a good weekend. I think he will have a good qualifying effort, but he will have to settle with a second place result. And does this mean that Perez will become the team's clear number two driver? I think not. I don't think this is a big hiccup here. He is still getting, I think it's 18 solid points for finishing second. So Perez, he's still going to be in the hunt, and Red Bull will not mess or manipulate with his results and to help out Verstappen. So for right now, I believe it will stay calm with Verstappen and Perez going for the World Championship. They're not going to intervene with this and say, you're number two and Verstappen's number one. They're just not going to do it. It's way too early. But if Perez wrecked and Verstappen won, yes, we'll be having that debate in the following week for Canada. But Perez P2. P3 will be young Charles Leclerc. Like I said in the intro, He is struggling. Ferrari is behind the pace right now, and they're going to have to work their way back into the top of the leaderboard. It's not going to happen right away. They're going to have to bring in major upgrades, which they made it clear that the UK and Spa are going to be two of the destinations where they bring them. So if they can do points damage limitation here for the next couple of weeks and months, I think they'll be all right towards the end of the year. They'll be very quick. And there's a chance here. Christian Horner made it clear. Some of the top teams can miss a couple of races, and Red Bull is one of them. So that could also aid Ferrari in the Driver Championship and also the Constructors Championship. Charles Leclerc, P3. P4 will be young George Russell of Mercedes. I'm wearing a Lewis Hamilton hat, by the way. But George Russell this year has finished every single race inside the top 5. And I think he's on the verge of beating Lewis Hamilton this year when it comes to beating a teammate. George Russell coming from Williams. Nobody expected him to be this dominating Lewis Hamilton the way he is right now, but he's doing it. And I don't know. A lot of people don't like it. I know I don't, but a lot of people also like seeing it because Hamilton really hasn't been under the pressure like he is now because he had Valtteri Bottas. No offense, Bottas did not bring the heat. Nico Rosberg did, but in 2016 only. And beyond that, Lewis Hamilton manhandled Fernando Alonso out in McLaren. Yes, no one expected George Russell to be this quick. That's very shocking. But P4 George Russell is going to be there this Sunday in Baku, so don't write him off at all. Rounding out your top 5 here in Baku will be young Carlos Sainz of Ferrari. Carlos Sainz here has been catching a lot of heat lately for being one of the worst Ferrari drivers since the early 2000s, which may not be a bad accusation, but I still think it's too early to make some bad decisions and remarks about Sainz. He's very early on in the season. He can turn things around, and he can still go for the championship. I highly doubt it, but he's still in the running for it. So there you go. Verstappen will win. Sergio Perez will finish second. Third place would be young Charles Leclerc. Fourth place would be George Russell. And fifth place would be Carlos Sainz. And my dark horse here will have to be Lewis Hamilton. You never know what's going to happen when you go into a race weekend with Lewis Hamilton on the grid. He can either go out there and steal the show and win. He can either go out there in a bad car and just be flat out last place. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting here. I wonder what Mercedes is going to bring in upgrades this weekend in Baku. Hopefully it works, but I highly doubt it. But you can never count out Lewis Hamilton. But everybody, though, remember to please like and subscribe.